So you're pretty good at playing and performing live gigs and events and such. But when it comes to recording in the studio or recording a track that somebody sent you to play on, you suck, and you suck big time. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why you suck and how to fix it. So let's go. What's good, and welcome to Music Space, where we help working musicians just like you learn how to quickly and easily make a living with your craft. So if this is your first time to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. So there's a huge difference between playing in a live setting on a gig or event and actually recording and playing in the studio. And this is something you have to know if you want to be viewed as a professional musician and if you want to make more money as a musician. The problem is you're watching all of the Corey Henry videos, keyboard players, all of the Eric Moore videos, drummers, all of the Andrew Goucher videos, bass players, and you're watching them in these feature videos and you're thinking this is the way you're supposed to play. Now, don't get me wrong, all of these guys are like crazy dope and I watch them all the time too. But there is a huge difference between what you see them doing in these feature videos and what you should be doing in a recording session and even on a live session as well. When you're playing in a live setting, you have this sort of 3D experience that is working in your favor. People can see you, people can hear you, people can feel the energy that you're giving off. Not to mention the acoustics that are in a room playing with a band and everything that's going at the same time. You're sort of arresting the senses of the people that are there to experience what you're putting out. And all of these things play a huge part in the way that people perceive you and hear you. Now, all of these 3D type experiences are completely removed or severely lessened when you're in a recording session, when you're in a studio session. You have this sort of one-dimensional or two-dimensional space where people are simply listening to you on a set of stereo speakers or some headphones, or even worse, laptop speakers. You simply just do not have that sort of three-dimensional sort of energetic feel that you would have in a room with a live experience where people are sitting there experiencing what you're playing. Now, there's definitely some crossover between playing in a live setting and playing in a studio session, but these are two distinct things and they should be treated as such. So here are 5 things that you should be focused on to get the best out of your studio recordings. Now, right before we get to the tips, I want to tell you about my free ebook that you can go download for free right now. This ebook will give you 10 tips that you can start using today to make 10 times more money as a musician. And it's completely free and it's in the description of this video, so make sure you go download that. All right, so the first thing you should be focused on to get the best out of your recording sessions is sound quality. And what I mean by this is playing or performing in a way that gets the best sound quality out of your voice or your instrument. So as a drummer, for example, one of the things that you can be focusing on is not only the tuning of your drums, but where you're hitting your drums. Are you hitting them in the center? Are you hitting them like slightly off center? Which one of these sounds gives the best sound for the recording that you're trying to record? Another example is bass players and guitar players. One of the things you can do is focus on tuning your amp in a certain way with all of the EQ and all of these settings that gives you this nice, clean, warm sound that's not, overly harsh or overly bright or anything like that. Something that's going to contribute to the music in the recording. So the second thing you need to be focused on is phrasing. Now, what do I mean by phrasing? So watch this. You look nice today. You look nice today? Oh, you look nice today. You see how all of those phrases actually say the same thing, but in a different context means something different. This is the same way that phrasing works in music. So using drummers again, because drummers are an easy way to illustrate this, a lot of times you're playing like the same patterns on the verse of the song. So how are you going to play that same pattern differently on the second verse of the song or the third verse if you have to play that pattern again? These are things you should be focused on. Are you going to play it a little bit louder, a little bit harder, give it a little bit more aggression? Same way. So again, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? You can say those things in a different way. This is phrasing and it applies to music in the same way that it applies to English or language, period. So use phrasing while you're in the studio recording. Now, the number 3 thing that you should be focused on is complementing the music. Now, I can't stress this enough. You have so many musicians that simply get in the studio and play how they want to play without any regard at all to if what they're doing is contributing to the song, or if it's helping the song move along, or anything like this. Everybody is in this sort of selfish mode and wanting to, get all of their licks in and all of their things in, when this is just simply not going to necessarily work for the song that you're recording. You need to be playing and making playing decisions based on what's more effective and what's best for the music that you're recording, not what's best for you as the drummer, as the keyboard player, as the singer, and all of this kind of stuff. So you don't need to kill on every recording. You don't need to be a beast on every recording. You need to focus on what's best for the music. So make sure you're doing that in your next studio session. Now, the next thing that you need to be focused on is feel. Now, feel is something that's really, really subjective, but it's definitely something worth diving into and trying to understand. What you want to be going for is this sort of head bopping or this emotional response in the music. So when you listen to it from a musical perspective, from a holistic perspective, from the whole band playing and all of this kind of stuff, what you're focused on is playing in a way that gives emotion to that music. So if the song is meant to give people, this happy, groovy feeling, you want to feel, the music doing that, and you need to add that in your approach and playing. Conversely, if it's a, love ballad or something like that, you need to stay out of the way of a lot of the stuff, and you need to let the lyrics shine and all of this kind of stuff. So feel is important. And again, this is something that's really subjective, and it has a lot to do with talking to the people that's in the band, playing with you in the song, all of that kind of stuff. So, but that's something you got to make sure you're doing when you're recording. So make sure you incorporate feel when you're recording. Now, the last tip here is the less is more approach. Keep it simple, stupid. We've all heard of the KISS method, the keep it simple, stupid. Now, there's a reason that this method applies to a lot of endeavors and things that we do in life. And music and recording and playing, and even in a live session, this is nothing that's, immune to that KISS method. So what you want to be focusing on more is keeping things simple. The general, audience is going to be listening to your music in headphones and, on a set of stereo speakers or in a gym while they're running or whatever the case may be, is not listening for that nice little piano lick that you're doing, or that nice little, drum lick that you learn in the shed session that you've been shedding on, for 2 weeks and all of this kind of stuff. Nobody cares about that stuff. They want to feel the music, and they want to, have an experience with the music, just like I talked about in the last tip. So you need to keep what you're doing simple in your recordings. Cook it just right to where it's there, where you're there as an instrument player or as a vocalist or whatever the case may be, and keep it there. Don't overdo it. And please focus on keeping it simple in your recordings. So make sure you're putting some focus on all of these things in your next recording session. And I promise you, it will help the music. It will help you sound better as a musician. It will give you that professional recording quality sound, and it will give you that perception that you're a valuable musician and people will be willing to hire you for higher dollar amounts. But what are some of the tips, tricks, and strategies that you use in your recording sessions? Jump down in the comment section and drop some of those tips down there so we can share some tips. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you in the next video.